welcome back. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Hannah. I post vlogs every Monday and main channel videos on Fridays when I'm feeling like it. This today I'm doing my new series. I wanted to do a kind of crime series, but I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and I kind of settled on like a webcam crime because I'm filming off my laptop. I don't know, webcam cases. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I'm probably gonna have a folding, so I guess collectively we will see what I call it. I am filming this on February 10th, and I plan for it to go up tomorrow, February 11th. I'm so excited to share this with you, so we're gonna get into it. Okay. We are doing the case of Randy Herman JR. He murdered his longtime bestie, Bernard Preston, while sleepwalking. Both sides of like the sleepwalking thingy are going to be weighed in this. I originally learned about this case on TikTok. Bernard Preston's sister posted that Hulu had made this documentary basically without contacting her family and asking permission to make a documentary on her sister's murder, which super shitty, and I wasn't gonna watch it. Not only that, she didn't provide the name, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch it for obvious reasons. Once I kind of pieced it together and found out what case it was, I was super interested, and I did end up watching the documentary. Do I support what Hulu did? No. Did I end up watching it? Yes. But now I could kind of give you the rundown without you having to watch it. I'll be the shitty person, so you don't have to. The documentary, if you do want to watch it, is Dead Asleep. No judgment here. I ended up watching it. It was good enough as you could get. I mean, it was a Hulu original, so. Like I said, the victim here is Brooke Preston. She was murdered by Randy Herman Jr. while he was sleepwalking. March 25th of 2017, Randy calls the police and he reports that he killed someone. Police arrest him at the park. His own public defender called this case strange because Randy knew he committed the crime, but he didn't remember doing it. And I'm gonna get into that because that in itself is weird. Like, how do you know you committed a crime but you can't remember? Get in there. Like I said, he killed his best friend, Brooke, and he claimed there was no romantic relationship between the two of them. Brooke was found with 20 stab wounds. Randy had to go through a psychological examination, which I mean, like, he knew he committed the crime but didn't remember doing it, so that makes perfect sense. He answered no to all the questions except one, and the question was, does he sleepwalk? He answered yes, which I remember that because this plays a big part in this whole case. Randy stabbed Brooke 20 times, and he also covered her with a quilt. Interesting enough. It's like unknown whether he covered her to conceal her face. Well, okay, so he covered her with the quilt. He covered, her whole body, but a lot of people don't know if it was to, conceal her identity, or to assist in pulling the body. I don't know. Now we're gonna get into kind of the background of Brooke and Randy, and, what to do. I believe Jungden and Brooke are sisters. I think they're sisters. I believe they're sisters. I did not know that, but I believe Jungden's the sister who was like, hey, Hulu did the shitty thing, so. Friends say Brooke, Randy, and Jungden were super close friends, considered even siblings. Randy grew up with a mom and a sister, so he was, naturally more feminine, more in tune with emotion, because he did grow up with two like women in his life, plus Brooke and Jungden. You know, I'm like looking at my notes and trying to make sure I get everything in without being like duh, duh, duh. Andy's mom and sister both say he had a history with sleepwalking. His mom recounts an experience when he rode his bike to the barn where she was working at, and his sister recalls a time during winter when he got up and started scratching at the window saying, "I have to get out." Which, that's haunted. That's haunting. What? His mom never took him to the doctor from sleepwalking, which, to be fair, I didn't know. A guest. I didn't know you could go to the doctor from sleepwalking. I guess it's a thing. Both his mom and his sister did also have a history of sleepwalking, but both of them grew out of it. So I assume they only assumed he was going to grow out of it. Another reason why the mom never, took him is because it was too much money. She's a single mom of 2 kids. I can't imagine how tight money was. Randy's parents split up when he was young. His dad drank a lot. He also never really offered to, come see his kids and to, take them to his house. And then when Randy's sister Amanda was old enough to take care of herself and clean, she was invited to stay at the dad's house. And obviously this made Randy upset. I mean, naturally, if, my dad only wanted one of my sisters to go hang out and not me, I'd woof out too. In 2015, Randy's dad was suspected of murdering because he killed his girlfriend and then killed himself. Experts say he envied people with a father. Randy did. He longed for a father figure. Well, he struggled with an identity crisis. Randy also had to clean up the mess of his father killing himself. I think that's a big one. That's something else. In 2016, Randy moved to Florida with Brooke and Jungden. He worked at Walmart, selling internet and cable. Randy would post these weird videos after work of him, drinking at, 2, 3 o'clock at night. During this time period, he ends up quitting his job and then is using alcohol and drugs every night. He somehow had inheritance. I obviously apparently did not think that was important, so I didn't know who he got this inheritance from, but it was slipping away because now he didn't have a job, he's doing drugs, and he's drinking a lot of alcohol. The defense for Randy wanted to look at the DSM because sleepwalking is counted as a mental disorder, and I guess they tried to argue that he was sleepwalking when he committed this crime, which, like I said, the sleepwalking is such a big point because now he's committed this crime, but they're trying to get him as his mental disorder made him do it. He was doing it while he was sleepwalking. And go off. But this was not a prosecution you could have in Florida in 2017. I don't know if they changed that. I don't know. I'm gonna get into the day all of this happened. Well, okay, the night before, and then it will follow in. The night before she was killed, Brooke, Randy was making Bunguk uncomfortable. Bunguk texted her friend Kyle to come and get her because apparently Randy was in the closet completely naked. Experts say sleepwalkings act primitive. During the day, when unconscious, these actions are uncontrolled. Let's see. Here we go. The timeline of this is super... 8:35 a.m. on the day it happened. No. Yeah, 8:35, Bunga got home, and Randy ends up leaving the house at 8:52 a.m. A neighbor hears, like, screams coming from the house around 8:49, 8:50-ish. And Randy leaves the house at 8:25. Weird. Alright. I'm kind of, like, jumping around in my document because I did not lay this out right. A big thing Randy's defense wanted to focus on was that he was a smaller man. The prosecution was trying to argue that Randy had snapped and killed Bunguk because of sexual motive, which, I mean, yeah. The defense for Randy also called Jungdin, Bunguk's sister, to the stand and asked so many questions about the romantic relationship between the two and the dynamic of the three of them all living together. You know, not much was said. I mean, obviously, Jungdin was like, no, I don't think there was anything there. But then, like, I also didn't know my two best friends liked each other in middle school until they ended up dating in middle school, and now they're still dating. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm not smart. I don't know. Like, I mean, there could be a romantic kind of, like, tension thing without other people obviously looking and being like, hey, that's romantic. This is, like, me and Ambeline, but, like, I'm kind of... I feel like this is so... Like I said, they were trying to say it was sexual motive that, like, drove him to kill him because she technically ejected him the night before when he was in the closet. Which, I mean... I would hate for someone to be naked and also be in my closet. Randy told, Randy told everyone, who was witnessing this case, that he would drink all night and hardly get any sleep, and it's also known that alcohol will put you in a deep sleep faster. But if you look at the timeline, you can't really get into a deep sleep in 5 minutes, which is what was trying to be claimed. Because, like I said, Bunguk gets home around 8:35, and she talks to Randy because she was moving. Randy was like, hey, I got something from your boyfriend, because she's moving out of Florida to go live out of state with her boyfriend. And then, shortly after that, he falls asleep. And then by 8:52, she is dead. Closing up, I mean, Jerry obviously found him guilty. Because he's arguing he fell into deep sleep in 5 minutes, committed this crime, and then was awake at 8:52 to be like, hey, sheesh, I just killed somebody. The jury didn't believe he had enough time to get into a deep enough sleep to sleepwalk, which makes sense. Randy was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole on April 14th, 2021. He appealed the sentence and conviction. he was denied. Something in me feels like that was all over the place. I feel like only with time they're gonna get better. So, let me know. I guess. Do we like these? I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you on Monday for a vlog.